Hi, welcome to part 2 of my video on the Monkey King staff. Today we're going to go through the form itself step by step. I've broke it down into 5 parts. We'll do each part one part at a time and then look at the applications. And like I said, I'm not an expert and I hope we can have fun learning together. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Before we start learning the form itself, I'm just going to have a quick word on footwork, as I'm not going to explain each and every stance as we go because it's pretty straightforward. Now I do know 2 monkey king staff forms. This one's a slightly more basic one. It has very practical movements and it doesn't require as much athleticism. So this form here, the footwork is relatively simple. There's no rolling on the ground or anything extravagant. There's only maybe 1 or 2 difficult parts to it, but the primarily stances we're using are firstly this kind of empty step. You can do it very low or kind of high. It's more of a defensive stance. Your weight is on the back foot, tippy toe just touching the ground on the front foot. Usually that's the way a little monkey stands with his staff. You also have everyone's favorite horse stance. I shouldn't have to explain this. Usually it's side on when you're practicing, and usually it's a transition between the front stance, equivalent to a Western lunge, you may call it. Very common stance. Weight is on the front foot, the back foot is pushing. You are not coming off the ground with your heel, but you are pressing with your toe. One thing that's not understood about these stances is you're always pressing with the toe when you have weight on it. You're not trying to dig the heels into the ground, which is very counterproductive, and a lot of people teach stances that way. Alternately, we have the back front stance, which is basically a front stance in reverse. You might use it for a defensive position or to move out of the way. And the slightly more lower version, which I've heard poetically referred to as the taming the tiger stance, is just that, but we bend in low, front foot turned in, all the weight is nice and low to the ground. Now this one here you can substitute out, if you cannot do it, for just the front stance facing backwards, and that will be an option if you're unfamiliar. Now some people don't count this as a stance, others do. I'll count it as a stance, and we also have in many of the poses a single leg stance. Relatively simple. The knee comes up, toes pointed down. I'll do it to the camera. It's not that, it is at an angle because we are covering our goods with our foot, and it looks better that way rather than just standing here boring, knee up straight. So those are the stances we need to know when we're doing this form. Let's begin part 1. So we stand facing straight ahead. Come to attention by chambering the fist and sucking in that gut, chest out, kind of like you're in the army. Then we transition to the empty step, and the hand comes up, creates a monkey paw, and this hand raises up. Now, with regards to monkey paw, it's like you're grasping a piece of fruit really quickly, the way a monkey does. The practical usage is obviously you thrust towards someone's face and rake across their eyes to try and temporarily blind them, allowing you to do whatever. Here it's more just getting into character, but it's grabbing like that. It's not like this with the fingers straight like a duckbill, although sometimes if you have it relaxed it looks a little like that, but it's more like this. It's not like a crane beak or some weird thing. It's like this. And just relax, so your hand just like a little monkey's paw. So I've made the little monkey paw. We're getting into an empty step. Roll the wrist over like this to create a hammer grip. Cup it as you turn. Have like a 2-handed grip, almost like a katana. Strike down, roll it over, turn with your footwork, and back stance, or front stance facing backwards I should say, while doing this high block which we've discussed in the basics video. Slide the hand up, again in this double-handed almost katana-like grip. Smash down one, roll it over, sink into the taming the tiger stance while pressing down all the way to the ground. When you press to the ground, I'll turn this way, your hands are like this. Now if you've got a flexible stick, you can bend it a little against the ground, and as we rise up, swap to this grip here. So we're facing this way, narrow it, so we're in our classic single tempo grip. And from here, 1, 2, 3. 3 uppercuts in a row. Then we pop back and strike. This pose here, I'll turn the face straight up. Now this is more of a decorative pose. Yeah. Now from here, roll it. Now you can continue with loops, but here usually, so in one roll, turn it over. You can step around, jump, and strike this monkey pose. As you can see, the staff is gripped this way, tucked behind the shoulder, and we can look this way here, back there. That concludes part 1. So now we're going to talk about the applications of the movements in part 1. Now, like I said, you begin by doing a little monkey paw, but it's more to gain character. If you're going to do it to someone, you go, "Rah!" and just scratch down their face, their eyes and everything. That's how it's used here. Like I said, it's more decorative. The first discernible techniques with the staff are, again, it's a variation of the single-headed staff in which we are crushing down and rotating almost like a sword strike. Now obviously it doesn't take a genius to see I'm just going woof and trying to slam her head with the staff. And obviously we also do this block here, which we discussed in the basics in that part of the sequence. And correctly, as she demonstrated, if someone's coming down this massive chop, you can use that. And as she correctly demonstrated, even though we're doing it in an up and down version in the form, you will do it in a 3-dimensional form by ducking to the side, as we discussed in the basics, because almost everything in the form is up and back. And you got to keep in mind these techniques are 3-dimensional. Now, likewise, if she adopts the same katana or sword-like grip on hers, and if we slam them together, the reason we practice to rotate this is very similar. So if she's pushing hard, I just rotate it, she goes away, and then I crack the top of the head. The second move, which is in it, is we conclude the second round of these strikes by pressing down. A lot of people confuse this technique. They think I'm actually coming up to her and going, "Wow," and trying to break her foot. Now you can do that. You can slam someone's foot. However, what this is like, just say she cuts at me from this side here for the camera, and I block this way here. This pressing down is more of a disarm, because what I'm actually doing is, anytime this can be done in numerous different situations, I literally lower and drop my whole body weight while pressing down to disarm her technique, to make her either drop it or to slam on the back of her hands. It can be done anyway. So usually if we're fighting, she cuts at me from this side here, and I block her, I can just press down and then continue on as we do in the form. That will open her up if I just slam down on top of her hands with all my weight and push it down. Rather than a hit, we're pressing down relatively flat. And if she wants to maintain her grip like this, she either has to let go with that hand there and go single grip, which leaves her open to a thrust or an uppercut to the nether regions, or she has to try and loop her way out of it. So if I hang on to it, hang on to the staff, like that. So you cut here, there. So if I press down, she has to try and somehow circle her way out of it underneath, but if I'm pressing down the whole time, that is going to be relatively difficult. And like I said, pressing down is to try and disarm them, and then it opens her up, and we follow up with a series of uppercuts just from the neutral grip. The idea obviously being I cut here, she ducks backwards, so I keep that. No, don't step backwards, I said duck. So you're just chasing them down with some uppercuts. Now this pose here you do, people might say, oh that's leap back, dodge back, she comes at me so I have to dodge back like this. I think it's more decorative. You see that exact pose in many artwork depicting the Monkey King. Likewise from here we do a few twirls or not, depending on how you're performing, and we go to this pose. Again, I think it's more decorative. If you really want, we're practicing pushing across halfway through that, which is the 2-tempo block, but you follow that by turning and posing, which is not really martial art application, that is just a decorative process. But if you really want to find the martial arts moves, it is this turn, and then you practice one then as you transition to the monkey pose. Part 2 picks up right where part 1 left off. Obviously you have it tucked, you're in this monkey pose, facing that direction there. Here we go. Now for me this is a move you can do basic or athletic, but essentially you put the foot down, turn it over the head and around, and it tucks behind, and we sit down into a horse step. Once again from here, now you can do this as a big jump, or you can do it simple as steps. So in order to show you, I'll just do it as steps. So we're here, down, turn it, catch it under your armpit here, continue the turn as you step around, and tuck it behind your head as you sit into a horse stance. Now you can hold it like this, like you're doing a squat or carving water, or you can be a bit more characteristic and catch it under your wrist like this with little hunt hands. Do a few looks around if you want to. It's all up to whether you're doing practical or performance. This is more of a decorative movement. When you're ready to go again, grasp it. From here, 2-tempo strike, crushing downward as you go into a front stance. Change up your grip, and then the single tempo strike high. Now 2 low single tempo strikes, so we keep the grip like this, we don't do too many slides. So step back, empty step, go down, step back, hit, empty step number 2. We've struck low at the leg height with this end. Then from here, slide it, forward stance as you crush downward. Now again, you can do this athletic or basic with steps, but essentially slide, lift the leg, come over with a jump, as you land in front step, crush downward with a descending strike. It's almost the same footwork as if you're doing like a cyclone kick. From here, slide it, same as in the basics video, front step forward, chop down. Now we do the same jumping move, but back behind us, open it up, step around and crush down. So once again from here, we can jump and put your weight into it, full weight crushing down, or you can do simple steps. How high you jump, being on the roof, and or how athletic you want it to be. Now this is a slight variation on the uppercut we've already done in basics. Slide it, and as you step back, you do an uppercut. But from here we have it raised a tiny bit higher. We're not down here, it's a tiny bit higher at our face height. Now from here, drop it back, sit back, empty step, and we do a thrust forward while lifting the knee and raising the hand high. From here, take it back to this squat, water carving, whatever you want to call it, position, and we'll make that part 2's conclusion. We start part 2 from this pose and we transition to this pose here. Now again, I think this is more decorative. It's a very monkish kind of pose. You really only see this style in the monkey form as characteristic, probably taken from opera. If you really want to struggle to find a real life application, in the old days people carry loads of stuff like this on their back with sticks, so you might start from that position where you might be casually carrying around, relaxing, and to strike in this position, obviously you roll over the head and push straight down, which is the first movement. Basic 2-tempo strike, no mystery, you're hitting in the head. Second one, another shot to the head. Again, this is very basic stuff, we don't have to explain it. However, what follows is stepping back and striking low. This is another case of a two-dimensional in the actual sequence where you go up and back, but three-dimensional in real life. Now let me demonstrate. So if just say any strike coming down the vertical plane, whether it's a thrust or a chop from here, if I step to the side, it misses. So all we're really doing as she steps forward, we are stepping to the side and taking the leg. So it is a dodge maneuver. I don't step straight back and try and take her leg, because she can still hit me with whatever she's doing. However, if I step to the side and take the leg, she's missed me if it is something going along the vertical plane as opposed to a horizontal strike. So we do that twice on both sides, and like I said, it's three-dimensional. So if she's got her stuff, if she's doing something here and she steps on with that foot, I can go this side and take out that leg. Likewise, she's stepping with the other leg, I can go like this side here and hit that leg there. And if you hit their leg hard enough, it's very hard for them to retaliate if you break their knee forward like that. Also, we know from empty hand fighting, if you kick someone's leg enough times, that is going to severely damage their ability to keep fighting, even if that move in and of itself doesn't render them incapacitated. So from these two little sneaky monkeyish dodging leg shots, we have an extremely big smash, which will be like your power move. So just say she's standing in front of me and I've swung this and she's gone back from here like that. Here we are lifting, jumping and following up with a big, massive, high risk, high reward power move. We do this twice in the form. Also, if you've like stunned them and it's all like, then we can come and do the real head splitting maneuver. So that's it, 2 power moves, and then we end up doing one this way, and we do this uppercut. Now, this style uppercut here, normally we go to here. Here we sort of keep it up a bit higher. This is obviously we're basically all we're doing is we're adjusting the uppercut rather than going here to be just a bit higher, to be directly under the chin, and we have it up here. Now there's a few different situations where you might keep the staff up high. Now they're numerous to go into, but essentially what might happen is if she cuts a short stroke from this side here and I've blocked up here, I might be pressing up under here, but I'm keeping this high here. I'm trying to actually break through underneath. If I just do like a standard one and stop here, my head is open to a stick. However, if I've already like stopped it here, if I'm up here, I'm trying to keep her stick off of my head by keeping it up high like this. Whereas here, my head might still be open to be caught. So from here, she comes at me, I can block this way and then lift up while keeping it relatively high to my face for that extra bit of cover. Now the last big movement from this particular sequence is the thrust. Now this is just say she has completely knocked my staff offline, maybe with the pressing down movement. So you completely pushed my staff down with a shot and I've dropped it. I can jump back, and while she's still down, I can pop her one straight in the face. So this is kind of like a high rep. You can use this in many different situations in which you've had to give up your front hand, either from a press down or any sort of technique. You can let go, hop back, assess the situation, withdraw the staff from out of their grip, and then if you have time, pop them one straight in the face with a thrust. And then obviously from there, we'll go back to our little monkey pose. Part 3 begins again in this squatting or water carrying position. Here you're free to improvise. You can ground, you can look this way, you can rock a little bit. It depends on whether you're playing for an audience or just your own personal practice. But when you are ready to move, you turn, you spin the staff this way while picking up the foot and jump in like that. Again, the second time, pick up the foot and jump in. Now this is one of the movements that can be done athletically, depending on how much room you have, how high you leap as you do it. Or you can do about leaping at all by placing the foot out, turning on the toe and sitting down, rather than actually lifting the foot and jumping. So once we've done our 2 leaps, we are back towards this end of our training area. We look back this way and we're going to perform 2 uppercuts where the grip is very loose and fluid. So from here, let it roll, cup it here, and as you change to a front stance, keep it spinning on this vertical plane and do this. So it's almost like this uppercut, but you have it presented forward. You're reaching out a bit as you go up under the chin. Slide it, and again, you're reaching. You're doing a longer uppercut up under the chin. From here, it slides almost as though you're about to go in a figure 8, but instead you turn to face backwards, lift the knee, this end comes up, and you drop low into a uppercut low in this crouching stance, almost like you're firing a bazooka. So once again, we've done our second cupping uppercut this way here, facing back there, and then we turn, so we're going to spin. Now from here, I'll face this way, you lift the knee, brush this, and go forward into this crouching step where you do lift the heel and push the knee down, almost like you're doing a lunge as you do an uppercut to the other section, which will start later. From here you conclude by changing it, other side of your head, like this baseball grip. Turn 1, they think you're going to stay high. No, again, same stance, and swing low through the knee. So once again, from here, well, we need room, we lift up, turn 1, and when we get to here, level change, and we are going low. That concludes part 3. So part 3 starts in this little monkey squatting position or water cane position. A lot of people skip their barbell squats these days, and you do 2 big circular jumps backward. Now, I think this is more decorative than anything, but if you really wish to extrapolate and get martial purpose from it, you're massively retreating out of the way, but I think it's more like a decorative agility exercise. So after the second one, we do this weird sort of 2 uppercuts, and they're kind of a bit unique because of the way with the mechanics, the way we hold it. Now, just say she's about there. From here, if I do not move, she's out of the range of my short strokes. She is also just out of the range of my 2 tempo slightly longer strokes. That obviously depends on the length of the stick, but the mechanics work for every stick. However, if I go this way here, I can catch her right nicely under the chin. How is that? Whenever you do the short strokes, the pivot point is here, close to your body. When you do the long strokes, again, it is fairly close to your body. All we're doing here is we're having our arms extended to move the pivot point where it actually rotates around right out away from our body and sort of casting it out with this front hand to get the maximum amount of range. So the pivot point almost becomes right on the front hand as the staff rotates like this out there rather than rotating somewhere close to your body. And obviously, since we're right down this end as we do them, we are reaching with a lot of like length left on that end, and we're presenting out away from our body rather than the other strokes that tend to stay tight but just extend the length of the stick traveling towards your opponent. Also, we do this with the uppercut because the uppercut is considered one of the more advanced techniques simply because when I do a horizontal strikes, particularly at the head, they are in her field of vision, same as the vertical strikes. Uppercuts have a habit of sneaking up and under their field of vision. This is why even in saw play doing like the uppercut is considered an advanced technique because they're ones which are a little less utilised and a little harder to see coming. So from the second uppercut, we tuck it this way, turn, lift it, and go for this low shot. So what is that? So obviously, we'll start from the informal, though you can do this from any position. You can do it from this block or a short block or any particular one. I'll do it exactly as in the form. If she just say any attack coming up at this plane here, I can stop. Now as you are also doing a little dodge, you're tucking to the side, so it's three-dimensional. I'm also withdrawing myself wide because if she steps forward, as she's doing that, her legs open up. Here it's a little bit difficult, but from here I get a better angle for what's coming, and that is rather than giving this up and having my head open, I keep it there and I level change. It's like wrestling. If I want to grab her legs, I don't lean forward, grab them as you can see for punches or kicks or if my head is still open. You like do a shot and go low and come in her legs this way. Likewise, I'm going for the lower section, so I dodge this way. So I level change, my whole body drops, and I come here for the nut shot, or so it's a very sneaky, monkish thing, level changing. But essentially, you can do it from anywhere. She comes at me with a short stroke, I do a short stroke back just like you think. I can do a little dodge over here and come low. Now obviously she's on that side there, but you can move either way. You basically are, she comes, you can stop her here, dodge, and level change, low, and we get a very, very painful shot while staying low. Now obviously you don't want to sit there too long, but that's how it is. So after you've done the level change shot from here, we do another level change, slightly different. You come high, she might step back to get out of the way. We come in, she might think there's a second high one coming, but what we're really doing here is again level change in to chop the leg. Again, we're going for a low target, so rather than leaning forward and doing this, we are level changing through to get the lower target. So it's sort of a bit of a monkey principle is when you go for a low target, your whole body level changes, whether it's that or that, to keep yourself safe from horizontal strikes. Obviously you're still victim to vertical, so you must pick and choose your timing of when to bust out the level change in order to attack a lower target. So part 4 begins with us ending at this horizontal chop at a level change to the legs. From here we turn and hook. When I say hook, I mean hook in with this end of the staff, and then a little leap and press down with the remainder of the staff in an empty step. From here, change grip, helicopter over the head, leap, back to the familiar pose which we've done numerous times. So once again, we'll chop low. Here, turn, hook, and push down, change grip, over the head, like this pose. Bring, sit down, in a monkey-like stance. You can look around this point, or you can just go to the next move, which is kick, and then turn, put your foot down, catch grip. Let's here, lift it a bit, and catch, uppercut. From here, switch to this side here, get this single-handed grip, smash them over the head, go back on this shoulder, this one turn the full way, and massive hit. So it's essentially similar to the last move, however we're not level changing, we're literally just going 1, 2 at them. So here, change, 1, turn it over, back on this shoulder here, we've stepped and ready to go, so turn and strike through. So once we've concluded this strike, change grips to your neutral grip, sit back and begin to figure of 8 turn or swirl or whatever you wish to call it. Now this part here, depending on if you're home alone or doing a show, you can do as many as you want. Now, once you're ready to come out of that spinning motion, you usually cross the body as the high hand is going low, as I explained in the basics video. However, this time here, as we're doing it, so we've got 1, we've crossed this one, same as usual. We go here, instead of bringing the high hand across, we bring this hand across as it is high, as we step behind, and then the hand slides up and we place it down. Now once we've got it firmly on the ground, we lean on it and throw a high side kick. I'll do that from the other side. We are turning this way when I'm ready to change, rather than pushing this hand across. I'll push this hand across here, it's down, get it nice, up at the top. If you have a longer stuff, I'm using the short stuff because we're indoors. So once you've got a bit of a grip, you look this way and do a jump in side kick. Now if you don't want to jump, you can get to here, step, and just lean on the staff and throw the side kick. That is entirely up to you how athletic or simple you want to make it. So you can either lean on the stick and kick, or lean on the stick and jump kick. And that brings us to the end of this section. Last section began, or ended I should say, with a low level change. Then we go to this move where we rise up, hook over with this, and then press down with our weight and a little jump. This is a bit of a difficult technique to explain, but I think the best way is to put the sticks down for a second, because it's just the armed version of a very old school self-defense technique. So some ruffian comes up to me and grabs my shirt and makes a threat.
Give them the lunch, mate.
You take their hand, you step back and turn it over, and you press down on the back of their shoulder or their elbow and force them down in like this position. Now, a lot of different styles teach this. Is a very simple self-defense move. All we're doing here is, so pick up this, or maybe no start for a second. Let's just say someone grabs my wrist and they are not letting go, because they know if they let go I can utilise my stuff. I hook onto the back of their wrist, jump around and press down like this. Likewise, if they grab my staff and they are not letting go, again I can do this and they have to let go, or they get pressed down. Another way, even sneaky way, if they grab my staff like this, is to catch their hand and do the same thing. Now, you can do it with the staff. It's a little bit trickier. If somehow we end up in a situation where we're both going like this, like that, a very odd situation, I can thread it and jump around like this and try and take her down from that way, especially if she's not letting go of the staff. So from here, letting go. If I jump and put all my weight and pull her down, push on the back of her hand, and then press her down here, the obvious solution to that will be to let go and maybe go back with something like that or some such technique. But if they grab your hand, grab your wrist, grab the staff, and they're intending on disarming you, you can turn them over and stretch their arm out the same way that if the bully's got your shirt and will not go, you can grab their hand and press down and turn them over. So we go back from there to our classic monkey position. Now if we would do something odd, we throw a kick. So we go forward, I might go to grab her face, she uses her stick to stop me, or perhaps I have done some movement and she's blocked with her stick. I can catch the stick and I only have to hold it for a quick second and pop just one straight in the crotch. When you're kicking, if just say I line up for a big kick, she can really wreck my shin. Even if I try for a big kick here, she can really wreck my shin. If I try for a side kick, she can slam it out of the way and hurt my leg badly. So anytime you kick, it has to be just a very quick one. Here we are using the hand to distract, up high and go in low. So it's just a very quick pop. It's a snap kick, not pushing forward kick. It is snap kick. We practice a bit higher than the crotch, just for the exercise purposes. But almost always when you kick that way, you're going for the crutch and the change grip and uppercut forward. Nothing special about the uppercuts, more the grip change. Like you might be carrying a stick like this or in a situation like this, and you do the grip change here, where you just pop, also like this here, just change grip, we're here, just change grip. It's just another way of handling it, quickly getting used to the idea of you let go and change grip in mid-air with both hands in order to prepare for a movement. So change grip here. Again, another kind of grip change. If I'm out here and I want to smash him, I can grip change here and go for it. But basically, so our grip change is here. No need to explain what this is for. Obviously, we are trying to slam someone across there. They might block it with a big 2-tempo block. They might step back, however, in which case we swing it over and we go for the second huge blow and hopefully catch him. So this is teaching you not just how to swing once, but how to connect two of them and try not to touch this together for a big slam. On the second one, we withdraw it like that. The reason being is that's just one way to stop a big shot. From here I can swing through and stop it back here, maybe swing through again. Or from here I can swing through, and if I'm going to miss, I can pull it back and try and maintain my grip this way and prepare for the next move rather than doing a full withdrawal. Then we go into figure of 8 turns. Again, this can be decorative. It also can be you just want to bully that person. They don't know what's coming and you're rushing forward. Or if they're coming at you, you might do this as a way to try and prevent them from advancing. Basically, turns are seen up a little distractor, a little series of blows. Also, if I'm spinning, they might not know what's coming. Anytime I can flip out usually to a vertical shot on one side. Either I can change here to a vertical shot, or I can like literally let go and go for a super long one if I want to. So you can do the 12s to disguise your actual intention and flip out a vertical shot from either one of the 12s. Even you can like come here, you can even just step forward and do a single tempo shot that way. There's a few different ways, but you can bully, distract, or disguise when the actual shot is coming. Now in this particular one we set up and we jump and kick. Now obviously this is a high risk move. A lot of people think it's decorative. It's actually a bit antiquated, because if I want to kick her, some people try and say she comes at me with a shot like this, low one has to kick, and I block it with that on the ground and kick her in the face. That's not it. This is entirely for the olden days in which monks would be on foot and they could be persecuted by people who are riding horseback. So one way to deal with it is to jump really high and slash with their sword or stick or whatever, which is why you see so many moves of them jumping high and cutting, which is well above the head height of the person they're fighting. This kick's well above the head height, because the idea is you're planting your stick and you're leaping up and kicking with a bit of height as a desperation move to try and knock that guy off his horse. This is also why there are a lot of moves where you pushing upwards with a spear, because if someone's come at you on a horse, they are obviously a level higher than you, and this is just a desperation move to attack someone with a big kick up here when they're on the horseback. It doesn't exactly be applicable to one-on-one fighting or a person who's just standing on land themselves. Final section, and we're going to conclude the form. So you've placed the stick down, you've done the kick. Now basically you put it down, slide this here and tuck it, and monkey step facing this way here. So basically you just landed the kick, take it off the ground, so boom, kick, back, slide it, and a little monkey step in. Now you can pause at this point, have a little look and pose, or you can just go on to the next move, which is kick, step past, looking away, then look this direction, again, a little monkey pose, this direction here. Now we grab it over the top, pull it through, change hands, and do that block facing forward. So this is all on the vertical plane. So we're here, looking, catch it above the head, pull it down, keep it tight, change grip, and block forwards. From here, tuck it back, step forward, and push with the palm, or keeping this tucked behind. Now from here, grab this end here, and throw out bigger hit than this if you don't have the roof to consider. A big hit, step behind, grab it, change grip, an even bigger hit on this side here. Now we pull back behind the straight and catch it here. So we'll hit here, so pull it back and catch it here. So pull it back, we've caught it here, unwind it, step back. You can do a couple of extra spins, or you can just do one or two, and then again here, back to the familiar pose. So the entire sequence should be on the vertical. So we've, again, to recap, we've thrown a high kick, we've landed, tuck this, monkey, kick from here, step back past, and look in front stance this way here. Grab it. Where the stick is all vertical. This one here stays close to the body. You change grip, cup it with the other hand, and block with this block we've done before. Again, vertical, back, 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 over. As you step forward and push strike. Again, still perfectly vertical, over, over, over. Big smash. Pull it back. Tuck it to the other hand. Turn, 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 perfectly vertical. And an even bigger smash that way. Pull it back, catch behind, pull it back now. We can do our turns. And again, when you're ready, it's usually this way here. One step or a little jump, up to you. monkey pose. And then here, facing forward, over the head, and hit, turn, but this time tuck it under, while changing stance, monkey pull, you can look around, and from here, you are done. So those last movements again, we have ended in the very familiar opera-esque Monkey King pose. We step down, over the head, and hit. You look back a bit as you go over the head and hit. Turn this way here, means they continue in this figure eight. You tuck or change in, monkey paw forward, then you may finish your practice. And that concludes the Monkey King staff form in its entirety. One section finished with our big horse takedown kick. Again, we've already done this, monkey paw kick, step around, bit of a decorative pose with a little monkey looking off into the distance. There's not really much martial purpose for this. Again, we're doing a sort of dexterity way of like slinging the stick around your body, learn how to change grips in various ways. Like we're keeping it really tight to our body. So from here, we're going here, should be able to sling it here. From here, you can do any move. Sometimes people carry a stick around on their back like this, so just here, you're just basically practicing manipulation of the stick. And then we go into this. There's this slightly different. We've done this box so many times. Usually if she comes down with a crushing blow from above, I can step to the side and let her slide off. You don't always have to dodge with this and take, because if you imagine she's got the full long grip, so you're like a katana grip or something like that, yeah. So if she comes down at me, whoa, if I'm here, this is where all her power is. I'm taking the full brunt of her blow and hoping to slide it off so that I can counter attack. So what we've been doing up to this point is basically extracting ourselves to the side, but we're still taking the full brunt of her power. One way to not do that is, if you see the big power going, is to actually step forward like this. Oh, you're gonna get me. I've got my leg turned. This is why we don't lunge like this when there's no rules, but like this. So that if I do this, and if she does kick forward, my crutch is protected by my knee rather than the open. That's just a little side bit of information for someone who's been a sneak. But to get back to the actual form, if she's doing a wild full swing, I can step forward and take it like this. So her power's up here, I'm taking it closer to here where there is less power and trying to slide her off. Now I think I can come with many different strokes that are actually shorter because I've closed the distance, but it's a similar principle to when someone's kicking at you, and if you want to catch their leg, you can step in or catch it. You don't stand exactly where the power is going to be and try and catch it there. Likewise, if someone is, any blow, doesn't matter weapon or unweapon, all the power is in the end. So here this is legitimate, she comes down, step to the side for safety, but we're still right up here where her power is. What we're doing here is just a variation where you step forward and you catch her here, halfway up the stick where there's less power, as well as pressing back into her. Now we practice it straight in the form, but as you see, we can angle it. The depth of the angle is entirely up to you, but it's just a way. We don't always have to dodge with this block. We can press forward with this block. So we've basically turned and press forward with the block. Here we do a bit of a manipulation and we press forward with the hand. This is a bit of a high risk move. One theme for this entire last bit is they're all very high risk moves. The idea being that they're always expecting the stick, if you quickly change and attack with your hand. You might be able to sneak a quick punch or eye gouge or something in because they're expecting you to only use a stick. Risky maneuver, but it's in the form, that's what it's for. The idea is that they might be so fixated on your weapon. We've already done this with the kick, but here we're doing sort of like, oh, what's he doing with his weapon? No, he's actually coming at me with his hand. High risk. Again, here this is another, like this. If you've got it in this position, it's almost like a nunchuck move where you pass them behind your back. From here, she's almost always expecting me to come up from here, but from here we are grabbing it. Here, it's another dexterity exercise. They're used to being able to just pass it to your hand easily, and then a very long power blow to the head, like this. Now just say she steps back rather than blocking. Again, this is another variation of the power blow. Parts of the ear stepping around. This one's mega full power, full risk, high reward move. But that's a bit of a monkey tradition, is throwing out these massive unorthodox movements. Then just a huge shot straight down. Hopefully we catch her. What if we don't? So if I've missed here, so just say she's come at me and I've got a big shot with just one hand, your front hand. Yeah, and I step back like this. One thing I can do is that, and then continue fine. While that's not in the form, that little stomping kick disarm is available to you at any point. So just say she's done the classic block backwards, the usual one, so step to the side, I've done here. If I'm here, she can just step on that and disarm me. That's a very standard, I'm at the mercy of her staff strikes. So here, one last little thing. It looks like a little decorative sort of exercise, but it's actually a real thing. How to actually get yourself out when you've really overextended and you're in danger is to reverse the stance and pull it back. Now we already practiced the last time catching it forward. Here we're practicing catching it behind the body. Bit of a dexterity, bit of a trick, but a very real purpose is if you've extended yourself so fully that she can just disarm you, it's too slow to try and pull the weight off my front foot and step back. This is the same in fencing. If you've gone out for a lunge, pulling back from your front foot is extremely slow. It's easier just to reverse the stance and then pull the foot back later once the weight is on this foot. So really reverse the stance, same thing. Yeah, I've swung, she stepped out of the way or something, and this third jigs. Reverse the stance and slide back. And then we go into figure of eights, which we've already discussed, or 12s. We go into our classic monkey pose. Now we do a short shot with, from here, with this little head duck. Why is that head duck? When we do these long strokes, we drag them over our head. Here we're doing the short stroke version. So just say she's guarding herself here. So just have her stick up. What we're doing is, from here, we're trying to beat it and continue by pulling our head out of the way. We're trying to keep it as horizontal as possible, so there is a bit of a lean back as we go in, like that, because we can't go here and then swing around. So we're trying to go like that with it, and the best way to do that, if she's up here, whether it's a block or a beat, is from here and then in. So we've gone like lean back a bit with our head to facilitate just one continuous circle like that, rather than doing something like this. We are not changing grip at all and achieving the same thing very quickly. So we've done that, then the monkey paw, and that is that, the closing of the form. Now how you close it is up to you. I've just done the most simplest one. So we've done around. From here, jump back, monkey paw. From here, we're going to roll up. Losing my own dexterity. It's a bit late in the day. And get ready, or there's still like some people who like to do a few extra spins and this type of thing. But essentially, that is the end of the form. So, that concludes the Monkey King staff form and all the applications to the best of my knowledge. Like I said, I'm not a master, we're just enthusiasts, and you know, this is the best we can do, and just share the knowledge we do have, and hope you enjoy and hope we can learn together. So until next time, do widzenia.
Pa, pa.